Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Okay, it's time for me to have this conversation with Africans, because there are Africans who support my channel. But occasionally something gets said on this channel, something I say, and Africans become offended. Now let's be clear. There are subscribers to this channel who are African American, descendants of slavery, like me, and they don't agree with everything I say. And some of them get ticked off too about things I say. Because remember, nobody agrees with everything anybody says. And if you do, you need to work on your critical thinking skills. Now, in my last video, or 2 or 3 videos, I have referenced the fact that Africans have the mentality towards Black Americans that the Asians and Hispanics and other immigrant groups have. Now, why would I say that? Because the Africans themselves tell us that. The Africans themselves say that their parents tell them to stay away from Black Americans. Why would your parents tell you to stay away from Black Americans? Because there is a narrative going across the world about Black Americans that originates with missionaries and diplomats and people who represent America in other countries. They tell you to stay away from Black Americans. As a matter of fact, there's a video that's going around on TikTok of a Somali woman who says her mom was told when she came here, I guess she was going to, we're trying to be American classes or something, and they told them, you want to stay away from those Black Americans. And some of them say they've been told that in their homeland, and some of them say their parents tell them that. Now, I'm not saying all Africans do that, because I don't think they all do. All of them, nobody does anything, but enough of them do it for you to draw a conclusion. That's all I'm saying. I do not go out of my way to be offensive or to say mean things to Africans. Most of the time, I think I'm pretty fair, and most of the time, I think what I have to say is informative and positive. But occasionally, something will come up, and I will give a point of view that Africans will get upset about. And when I say Africans, I'm talking about the ones that come on my channel. I know you're 54 countries with thousands of languages and tribes and cultures, but when you come on my channel, many of you will say I'm an African or I'm from such and such a place. But the more Africans that come to the United States, and the more the communication system gets better, the better it will be. But America is not going to stop putting out this negative propaganda about Black Americans. And I realize that there's negativity going on both sides. Africans used to complain, oh, those Black Americans called us booty scratchers. I had never heard of that word, and a lot of Black Americans had never heard of it. And even if I would never call anybody something like that. When I went to undergraduate school and college, we had a Nigerian professor, and everybody was excited about that Nigerian professor because we had never been around any Africans before. And it was exciting being around an African, and he was very nice and helpful, and everybody adored him. And when I lived in New York City many years ago, I dated Africans and West Indians because their work ethic and their value systems were more compatible to mine as a Southern Black American. I know people who know Africans. My niece is friends with an African and she adores her. I have a niece in Texas who's friend with a Kenyan and she adores her. They've been best friends since she was 10 years old since she got down there. So it's not that I have anything against Africans. It's just that once in a while something will come up and you will be offended by what I say. But I don't do that intentionally, and it's usually based on something that has come from Africans themselves. So what I would like for you to do is to understand I'm not trying to be offensive. And if I say, well, the Africans do too, that is too general. So I can say some Africans or many Africans or a certain African. Or I can quote something and put some documentation on the screen so it doesn't sound like it's personal, because it's really not personal. Well, it's personal and it's not personal. When people come to your country and say, well, I was told to stay away from you, well, that's personal. That is personal. I have said that everybody needs to be careful about what they say and make sure you're not putting negative energy into the atmosphere. And so that applies to me too, because I am not doing anything to intentionally offend anybody, and I do realize that generalizing can be offensive. So that is something to work on in the future. Now, it just so happens that I found the video where the Somali woman was saying that they were told not to deal with Black Americans.
Beware of Black people and stay away from them. They are not good people is one of the first things that my mom was told when she came to this country. I am a first-generation immigrant child. My parents came here back in 1993 after the Somali War. My parents came here as refugees, and they were taught the ways of the Americans by white people who were helping them stay in hotels, giving food, shelter, etc., etc. My mom told me a lot of things that the guides would tell them. They would say, these people, they're Black, they get into a lot of crimes. I wouldn't suggest that you mess around with them. One day, my mom was taking a permit class, and just like the jail yard, the Black people were together, the Mexicans were together, the Africans were with the Africans, the Asians with the Asians, whatever. And as the instructor was talking about, driving and on the road, she said, just make sure that you're paying attention. And for you, she pointed to the Asians and said, don't laugh when you're driving. Don't smile.
So this video is longer. Obviously, it came from Philip Scott's podcast. So I will put the link in the comment section, and you can go back and listen to the whole video, because this young lady has the whole game down. It's really, really a good video of her observation of America and why America wants to keep Black people and Black people separated. Y'all know that they were supposed to have a Pan-Africanist conference in Ghana. I've just been seeing it on social media. They planned it since November, and it was supposed to come off last week or this week. All of a sudden, the Ghanaian government canceled the meeting. Now, why do you think that would be the case? The only thing that could have happened, in my opinion, is that some Western country, these Western countries, wanted them to cancel the meeting because it had some very powerful African Pan-Africanists, especially the lady that used to be the ambassador to the United Nations. And so they don't want us to really get along. I mean, when I say they, I'm talking about the people who had us enslaved and colonized. So I'm just saying that it would be to our advantage to find a way to get along, because, nobody is benefiting from this diaspora war and us not really trying to get along and understand each other, except the people who had us colonized and enslaved. But okay, y'all, let me know what you think about the video. And okay, Africans, I would love to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just being me. Okay, y'all, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.